Hey everyone, welcome to the 1804 Show, Chapter 2. I'm your host, Dollar Will, and this is another episode of It's 1804 History. Yeah, I'm doing a special morning episode because I have a lot to do today, but I want to get some things off my chest real quick and just inform my people that we have been hoodwinked, we have been bamboozled, we have been manipulated for far too long. And it just, the craziest part about, being outspoken, being brave, being courageous, is that people going to try to silence you. People bring up your past, bring up your flaws, bring up your secrets when you speak against the establishment. But I'm willing to take all of that if it comes. And I'm not afraid. I'm damn sure ain't no slave who's going to conform to the norm. And it's just ironic that they created First Amendment rights. They created all these clauses in the Constitution. But the moment you start speaking truth to power, they're ready to get rid of you. They can't just kill you physically now, but they gotta kill you in the court of public opinion, and then they do it. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it is what it is, because I'm one of the rebellious slaves. I'm one of the slaves watching everybody pick cotton and don't see it as work. I see it as bondage. I see it as oppression. So follow me. Have to get activated. So a whole lot of people, when they see me posted the thumbnail about Jesse Jackson created the African American, a lot of people don't understand or don't know that classification only been around for 35 years. And do you ever sit back and wonder why we are called that, or that we labeled that? Why is that on our job applications? Why that's on our driver's license? Why is that on a voting ballot? It's because it's to keep us down. It's to keep us really inferior when we are the superior race on the planet. Anybody who knows natives and knows people who's pretty much considered tribal people, they are black people. They are Afro-American, African-American, and this and that. They look just like us, but they don't speak our languages. They're not colonized like we're colonized. And did you ever sit back and wonder how come we suffer the most out of everybody? Because everybody benefited from our culture. Everybody has gotten rich or monetized from our culture. We have made trillions of dollars in any industry that you can imagine. But we get the pennies, we get the crumbs when we're supposed to be getting dollars, And a lot of people isn't going to like what I'm about to say, but it is what it is. It's just crazy how a whole lot of our ancestors meaning from back to this country got established to now, we still get the short end on the stick. We still are killing each other, yes, but we're not the ones that's the puppets' tears. You know what I'm saying? We the puppets all day, but we're not the ones who pulling the strings of all of this stuff. And it's just crazy how we just don't see it. We don't see the Jedi mind tricks. We don't see the manipulation of it all. And I just always sit back and wonder, you know, how come there's so many churches on one block, and how come there's so many liquor stores on every corner? How come it's a clinic on every corner? It's the design to take us out. It's all been playing since, you know, people came over here and invaded us, because there was no such thing as slavery like people think it is. You know, slavery didn't go down the way that we were taught in school. You know, they taught us a whole new bracket of education and stuff like that, because they wanted us to be institutionalized. They wanted us to be what they wanted us to be. You know, they created a whole new mindset, because they didn't kill all the Indians. They reclassified them. You know, the one General Sherman, when he said, "Ain't nothing good to an Indian but a dead one," I'm paraphrasing, but he didn't mean physically, but he meant mentally. He killed the Indian within. He killed the Indian inside. And he killed the Indian just by making them believe they was from somewhere else. Him and a group of others. This was a group project. This wasn't an individual plot. This was a multiple project, and years and billions of dollars to make this dream come true, make this plot come true. And I just want for everybody to know that our so-called leaders and stuff, you know, they had to do what they had to do. You know what I'm saying? One thing that I can respect about Malcolm X is that he didn't sell out. Malcolm X put up a fight. Malcolm X wouldn't bow down to certain people. And they don't want any black man who's considered masculine, who's considered a truth teller, who's considered profound, to be in that type of life or that type of light where he was dedicated, he was determined to fight for his people. You know, they want to kill you once and then they will kill you again through the court of public opinion. You know what I'm saying? They want to tarnish and taint your legacy while you dead. You know what I'm saying? A man who was killed in front of his pregnant wife and his little girls. But they want to, you know, say, oh, he was, you know, funny. You know what I'm saying? He was, he wasn't who you think he was. And I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get flagged for hate speech or anything like that. But you know what I'm talking about. But they would try to insinuate that, oh, he wasn't straight. He was on the other side. But there was no evidence or no documentation or whatever to prove this claim. But yeah, he exposed Dr. King and the others, the Big Six and stuff like that. And I can understand that Dr. King had kids, he had a family, he had people that he was working for him, so he had to pay people to leave by the SCLC. You know, I get it. But I think, once Malcolm died, he knew that he was next. So his last few years of his life, he was trying to make things right. He was trying to make things peaceful, for the people around him and the people that he loved. You know what I'm saying? I just think that it took a long time for him to really begin to have a conscience. And he wasn't killed because he had a dream. He got killed because he woke up. He woke up to the economic structure and how things was, planning, and how much millions and millions acres of land was being distributed to the foreigners and the people who was considered immigrants. Because a whole lot of people don't know that the Statue of Liberty wasn't a gift from the France and stuff like that. That's a whole lie. The Statue of Liberty is a lighthouse. It was a way to show people where to come. It was a navigation system. Because a lot of immigrants, they came from Italy, they came from England, they came from Ireland, they came from that whole particular region of Europe. And it was a way to show them where to come. You will see it when you get here. Because a lot of them came off the shores of New York and migrated here. And even the people who are considered the long hats and stuff like that. Yes, the ghettos was created from them, but the ghettos were revolutionized with us. Because you ever sit back and wonder why there's Section 8, there's public housing in the first place, and public housing is nothing but reservations. Reservations for the American Indians. They put us in these worse conditions and expect us to overcome it. They expect us to be righteous. How can you be righteous when you're in a science experiment? You're being the rat that's trapped in a maze and stuff like that. And it's just real deep. It's real deep. And these DNA tests are nothing but fabrications. They're false. Most of us who take these tests, we get a huge percentage of Nigerian or Nigeria and this and that, but we don't look nothing like a Nigerian. And I try to explain this to people that, have you ever seen a Nigerian before? Or have you ever seen or been to Africa? They put these messages in movies and then expect us to look at it like, okay, it's a nice script and this and that, but they've been giving us the gems for years that we didn't come from Africa. They wanted us to believe this. They want us to believe that Africa is the mother of civilization, but it's not. They created these maps. They created these shapes, and because how the hell do everybody know that America's over here, Iceland or Antarctica at the bottom, Europe right there, Africa right there, Asia right there, Australia right there? How the hell anyone knows this? That should be a red flag to anybody that truly study the globe and study the map. Like, how the hell they knew all this was over here? And then they want to minimize the importance to America to keep you away from searching and to keep you away from studying. Because I'm a history buff. Not only that, but I study everything. I study governments, I study judicial systems and this and that. But the people in leadership didn't get to where they at by being honest. You know, they had to turn a blind eye to a lot of things in order to keep their businesses afloat. Because, you know, everybody wants to experience the American dream. But because you experience an American dream, somebody else is experiencing the American nightmare. And we have to keep telling ourselves and telling our kids stuff that's not real, stuff that's not beneficial. Because we were taught to be workers. We weren't taught to be businessmen or businesswomen or entrepreneurs, bosses. We weren't taught that. We was taught to work a job for 50, 60, 70 years and then pay bills and then die. We weren't taught to live. We was taught to survive. And I just want my people to wake up and see who they truly are and see the propaganda, the falsehood, and everything. And we have to stick together. We have to come together, strength in numbers. But yeah, the term African American has only been 35 years old. When you really go down the pathway of how many times our group of people were reclassified, it's staggering. You know, that should tell you something. You know, how come in 1492 they weren't calling us black? They wouldn't have called us Negro. They weren't calling us Afro-American. They weren't calling us colored. They weren't calling us these terms like that, you know? We have to realize, you know, why we are the most oppressed people, why we can't get a job, why we can't get a loan, why we can't prosper. And every time when we did it ourselves, they killed us or burned our businesses down and made ways and made laws in order for us not to rebuild our communities. Because there was more than one Black Wall Street. There were 60 of them in the United States alone. And people need to understand this. America is huge. America isn't just a country, but it's huge. It stretches from Alaska to Canada, United States, Mexico, the Caribbean islands, to South America. That's huge. That's a huge landmass. America is the old world. And you won't not believe that a lot of that stuff that happened in the Bible happened over here. It didn't happen over there in these so-called regions. That's why they don't find anything over there, because it's not over there. It's over here. But they want to trick you into believing that all your ancestors came off a boat and shackles, chains. They want you to believe that it was a middle passage. but it didn't go down the way that it went down like that. You're not a African American. You are Aborigine. You are Aboriginal. You're not from another continent. You're from here. Black people, you from here. If we all get back to the old ways, we all channel the ancestors and the spirits and this and that, they will answer you. You will get what you're looking for. And I'm not bullshitting. I have no reason to lie. I have no motive behind this episode. If anything, I just want us to get back on one accord, is to really come together and help each other and build nations, build wealth, build schools. You know, we have to be able to teach our kids the truth. You know, teach them about credit, teach them about history, teach them about economics, teach them about how to open their own businesses. You know, we forget that someone helped us along the way. So when a person gets to where they need to go, they just be like, look, they gonna have to figure out how I figure it out. But somebody helped you, so help somebody else. Help somebody who's docile, somebody who's naive, somebody who's lost. You know what I'm saying? You gotta help people. That's how you able to pass the torch. And everyone needs to understand this too. Like, J. Edgar Hoover said that there will be no Black Messiah unless I choose him. If our leaders, who are so-called leaders, still alive, they didn't get taken out, they didn't get assassinated, they was handpicked, they was chosen by the establishment. So I just want people to wake up. I just want people to face the music, smell the coffee, because it's on us. It's on us to make the world a better place, to make it a better tomorrow. Not just tomorrow, but today. We have to get our own priorities straight. Quit the unnecessary spending. Quit trying to compete with each other. Let's meet with each other. All right, guys, that's enough for today. I will be back on the next episode. Peace.